All right, everyone. It must be Friday because it's another Q&A with Alan and Marshall. I'm Marshall Atkinson.
I'm Ellen Howe with Easy Way.
And welcome to the little show that could.
Exactly. It keeps going.
It keeps going. It keeps going. And we're happy to be here. It's Friday. I had a really crazy week. There's a lot of, I think, Shirt Lab New Orleans hangover type stuff where all that stuff happened, and then now it's back to reality and stuff. So I'm sure we're going to talk about that later. But anyway, so we're happy that you're joining us, and we would love it if you would do us a huge favor and like or share that you're watching our show. But the main thing we want you to do is to get engaged, right? So This is a Q&A show. We have topics, okay, but we don't have to talk about what we want to talk about. We're here for you, right? So what we want you to do is your biggest challenge, the thing that's so puzzling right now in your shop or your business, please share it, because Alan and I can take a stab at helping you, but maybe some other folks that are on and watching right now, maybe they could drop a little comment in there, and that way we're helping you out. That's the whole goal of our show, is to get you the right information so you can get to the next level. That's what we're trying to do here, right? So if you are watching, please say hi. Let us know where you're watching from and what's going on there, that type of stuff, right? So we got some people watching. So Cindy's watching, of course. Good to see you. Or maybe she's listening while she's embroidering stuff, right?
While she's working always.
And then Brian's here from Rainy, Missouri. It's good seeing you and your wife in New Orleans.
Great seeing you, Brian. Yeah.
And then Mike's here, information overload and red beans and rice withdrawals. You know, I was telling my wife, I ate red beans and rice every single day while I was there. It was like I was on a mission, you know?
Yeah.
Don't really get good red beans and rice here in Arizona. So
Michigan, it's a little sketchy on where to find it and how to do it. I don't even know how to make it. I'm gonna have to look it up
just to begin with, right? So
I'll tell you what, I had it after Friday night, was the mixer and stuff.
Yeah.
And a lot of appetizers, which is a fun thing. So I go back to the hotel, and Richard Greaves and I were just sitting at the bar, and I ordered red beans and rice, going, okay, how bad could it be here at the hotel? I mean, it's New Orleans and stuff.
I had the hotel red beans and rice, and they were good.
It was incredible. Mm-hmm. It was I had the jambalaya too. It was so good.
Right. Did you put some hot sauce in it?
No, I don't put hot sauce on there. Remember, I'm from Michigan.
So
right. I can't do
That's right. Everything
Richard, you want hot sauce? He goes, I'm from Wisconsin. No,
I'm all about the hot sauce with my red beans and rice. So,
but it was incredible, and it's red beans and rice.
Look who's here today.
Ghosta, we've missed you.
Yeah, where you been? So we hope you're doing okay, and we're glad you're on here today. Give us an update. What have you been up to? I want to say it's been 2 or 3 months since we've seen you.
It's been a while. I know he's been around. I saw him. He sent me a deal on Messenger, and so I knew he's still out there. Ghosta, let us know, did you go to FESPA or anything? I'd love to know if you went there and get your take on that. So
yeah, I'm thinking about going to FESPA next year in Amsterdam, right?
So,
there was some talk about that actually at Shirt Lab. So
yeah.
And Cindy says, love red beans and rice. Frank says, good morning, gents. Good to see you
there, Frank. But yeah.
And Charles says, hello and happy Friday from Mexico.
Yep.
So good to see you guys there, right? So all right. So what do you say we pay some bills and then come back with some stuff?
And we'll just talk. Yeah, it'll be good.
All right.
We want to thank GSG. It was good. They were there. Mark Soldonic was there.
Jonathan Strickland was there. They had a bunch of GSG customers that were there.
Yep.
And then also GSG gave away some massagers, right? The Theragun massagers. We had a drawing for that. And
I didn't see that. Okay. Yeah.
Well, I think that's when you went to the hotel to lay down. You
got it. Yeah.
So anyway, so let's roll some their commercial, and we'll be back in 2 seconds.
Cool.
GSG, the combination of over half a century of knowledge with industry-leading technology and the customer at the center of everything that we do. Graphic Solutions Group is a powerhouse distributor of traditional screen, sign, wide format digital printing, embroidery, and textile decorating. We are committed to our customers, providing support, educational, and consulting services. Your success is our success. We've seen these industries grow and change in our 70 years. One thing never changes: GSG's dedication providing the best products and services available. We've been around, we'll be around, from the highs and the lows, standing right here with you. GSG, the right products, right away.
All right. And thanks, GSG. We love you.
Oh man, they do such a great job. I know, some of my clients up here in Michigan, talk to Mark Soldana quite a bit. And they said, man, is that company as impressive as it seems? I go, it is. It's pretty amazing. They're not 100% perfect, but
they do such a good job, and they've got some killer stuff coming out soon.
They do.
We can't talk about it, but man, I can't wait. So,
yep, absolutely. So,
anyway, so it was really fun talking with Mark and Jonathan.
Yep.
What's fun is that Jonathan, turns out, is in my fraternity. So
I didn't know that.
He's a Pi Kappa Phi, so that was kind of cool to, there's brothers everywhere, man.
I guess.
So, all right. So let's get to our first topic, which is, I think, going to be highly unpredictable. Lab New Orleans. Who knew we would want to talk about that after the thing? So some of you guys that are on the show right now were there. We'd love your opinions. What did you like best? All that kind of stuff, all that jazz, right? So, Alan, you were there, right? This is your second event, right?
Third.
You've been to third. So what did you think? How did you enjoy it? What was your biggest takeaway? Would love kind of, your opinion.
I have to preface this from everybody, because there's a lot of people. I get a lot of questions about Shirt Lab. Everybody thinks because you and I do this and I'm friends with Allie and with Tom and stuff, I think they think I'm part of that. And I'm not. That's Tom and Marshall did. So when I go there, I get to do nothing. I don't know what's going on.
We don't have any responsibilities for you.
None whatsoever. So I get to learn. I get to socialize. I get to just talk with people. So for me, that is like the best part for me. I can do that at trade shows, but I'm working.
Yeah.
I have so much to do here. And am I working? Yeah. But you know what? I got to hang out with, Michael Woolbright, who we've talked to know each other, but it's only at things like that where I'm not tied to a booth. I'm not, just Alan, the Easy Way guy and stuff, where, we're just talking. We're there. I get the, clients of mine like Adam and Ryan from Sandlot were there. We're there just having a drink and stuff. I loved the industry people. I didn't know Jonathan Strickland from GSG. It was great meeting him.
Yeah, he's the New Orleans guy.
The New Orleans guy and all that.
Yeah.
How cool was it that from the Academy that there were 5 of Academy members there?
It was great.
With Richard Greaves, with Mark Coudray, with Mark Soldanic. And for me, just industry people, Jay Bissell, who I see a lot at shows. We spend maybe 5 minutes together, but it was just an incredible. And the networking part is so huge. Of meeting new people, meeting new clients, meeting just networking in our industry.
Well, lot of that we do is completely on purpose, right?
Yep.
So like there's a reason why we do the things that we do. And, in Shirt Lab New Orleans is over, 6 months of my life is done.
Yeah.
So So, that type of event is a lot of work. It's like planning a wedding, right? And we try to like think of everything. And of course, we're not perfect, and a lot of things don't go the way that we want them to go, and whatever. But it's just a lot of fun, and you just roll with the punches and do the thing, and the type of thing. And we're always trying to make it better, right? And this event, I got to tell you, this was the 8th one that we've done, and my top favorite was the one in Washington D.C. still, right? I don't know if we'll ever top that one, but this one I think is going to be number 2, and it was just everything kind of lined up. We had some minor challenges that we had to work through, but I think everything went off without a hitch, and for the most part, it was really great. So
I think the hotel was great.
The hotel was great. They took care of us, and
the venue across the street was incredible. I thought it was super nice.
Super nice, yeah.
So it was close. It was good. It was fun. It was for me. It was a quick trip. It's a leaf Friday.
Hey, something wrong with your mic, Alan?
Really?
I don't know what happened. Something happened.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, yeah. So like I said, it's a quick trip, so it's tiring. I was traveling all the week leading up to it, but then I also get to listen to different speakers and stuff.
Yeah, right.
So, I was looking forward to Tom Rowan on referrals, which was good. Yeah. I got the most out of Allie Banholzer.
Yeah, with her mission charter.
Her mission charter on it. And basically it was checklist, which I love. And I actually like in the breakout group and stuff she had us doing, I actually filled that out, and I'm actually working through that. Now it's nothing I'm sharing because it's a personal thing.
Yeah, good.
But so it's ever learning. You realize what great people are in our industry, and we're always learning from each other.
Right. So let's share some comments real quick. So Charles says, "Go Pi Cap." Yeah, he's in my fraternity too, by the way. Glenn says, "Happy Friday." Good seeing you, Glenn.
Yeah.
Richard says, "Hello from Michigan." Good seeing you, Richard, as always. Mike says, "One of the best things about attending Shirt Lab Live is communication and collaboration, because you've got your collaboratory now, right?"
Yes.
We can brainstorm and share information from all around the USA and learn lots of ideas. Yep. Brian says the breakouts were great. Mike says, "I met my core group in Portland, and then it's grown tenfold. Shirt Lab is new math. 1 + 1 = 9, and the free-flowing sharing of information." Thanks, Mike. Appreciate that. And it was great. And the breakouts were something new. We didn't know how it was going to work. And of course, we have a survey, and everybody's giving us some really good feedback. Right now, I think we're about half of the attendees have filled out a survey, which is, if you look at how surveys usually do poorly, I think that says a lot, right? And so we got some really good information, and that we'll be digesting and figuring out what's up for our next one. And would love to get y'all's opinion on where we should go. That's one of our main survey questions. And would love to, Alan, where would you like to have it? Probably Detroit.
Fiji.
Fiji? Yeah. Well, if we had it in Fiji, would you go?
Absolutely. For me, Cebu City, Philippines. It's my favorite place.
Yeah. Let's fly 24 hours for a tour, for a one-day event. That makes a lot of sense.
I don't know. I almost hate to say, because people get into thing of airports, and that's far. It's this West Coast, East Coast, and stuff like that. I don't know. You've had a good place. You know what? Phoenix would not be a bad place.
Phoenix is getting some votes right now.
Phoenix would be good. Denver would not be awful.
I've seen a couple Denver votes. Yep.
You've done Fort Worth, Dallas. Houston might not be bad.
Well, the second leading vote
I think
getter last year was, New Orleans was first. Austin was number 2.
Austin would be good. Orlando would not be bad. San Antonio wouldn't be bad.
Mhm.
Orlando or Tampa would not be awful.
Yeah.
Or Jacksonville. It's a little bit more.
We could have our own. That Tampa ISS show used to be the king.
It is. And you know what? Then there's some places that I think they're smaller. I always loved like Manchester, New Hampshire, which is just gorgeous. And a great.
Well, then so the problem with that is it's a travel issue. Right?
Oh, it
So
is. Yeah.
it's hard to get to. Right. So.
Well, and I mean, I've flown right into Manchester before. So,
Yeah.
And so I've kicked Marshall off. He's no longer, it's just the Alan Q&A show. So we'll wait till he comes back in on there. So we have decided, we made a corporate decision while you were gone, that it is going to be in Detroit, Michigan.
Oh, great. All right. So let's get to some comments real quick. Hold on. So Scott's here. Hey, Scott. Good seeing you, buddy. And let me tell you about Scott. He is so killing it with Midjourney right now. I love what he's doing. So
awesome.
Keep it up. Ray's here. Good seeing you. Brian says Ford Field because the Lions are not using it.
Actually, you know what? We are optimistic about the Lions this year.
And you're not lying?
We are not lying. I mean, it's so unusual. The Detroit Lions, which, their last championship season, my mom was in junior high. So it's been rough as a Lions fan. But man, there's people all over the country picking them to win the division, and I don't know. We're used to being let down.
Pick their nose, right?
What's that?
The same people pick their nose. So picking is easy.
But usually it's not the not the nationwide part of it.
Yeah.
So so we'll see. On there, you know what? In Detroit, as bad a rap as it get, it's like Chicago and stuff like that. There's good parts, there's bad parts.
Right.
Downtown and Midtown is incredible.
I've been to Detroit. I've told you that story, about the bartender shutting off the lights because we were dissing the Red Wings.
Don't diss the Red Wings. That's not smart.
It wasn't me. It was somebody else there, right?
Yeah.
I had to pay the price because that guy's a jerk. Right?
Yeah.
So, anyway, Mike says Austin. Ghost says Stockholm will be great. Yeah, we'll do it in Stockholm.
Stockholm, Sweden would be amazing.
Ray says Oklahoma City actually has a lot going on and very central. I've been to Oklahoma City.
It is.
I went for a football game and it was a really great town. Bricktown, I guess that's the thing downtown. Bricktown was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I've never been there. I've heard that's cool.
Yeah, I went on a guy's trip for football and we ate steak for every single meal for 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
What could go wrong with that?
Nothing.
Come to KC and he'll bring the barbecue. All right.
KC wouldn't be bad.
Frank says still a fan of Fort Worth. It was my first and great. Yeah, good.
But you know what? Kansas City wouldn't be bad either. New airport.
Orlando for the win, says Scott. Santa Fe, New Mexico. I love that, Daryl.
That would be cool.
Yeah, and it's a coup, right? Thanks for everyone for voting for Detroit. Hurley says, good morning, gentlemen.
Detroit is good. You know what's better, Richard? Grand Rapids, Michigan is actually nicer. And a lot more hotels and stuff like that.
That's like way up, right?
Nope, it's just to the west. It's just on Lake Michigan.
Right. What am I thinking of that's up at the top?
Traverse City.
Okay. Jitendra says hello. How you doing?
You doing, Jitendra?
Yeah, from India. Charles says that's his hometown, right? Yes. And then Scott says Tallahassee. Yes, we can have it in conjunction in the fall for some sort of football game. I'd love that. That was a short coup and Alan kicked you off. Yeah.
Well, Alan didn't kick him off. So I just said I did. What I said, I go, all right, we've decided Marshall's out. It's just the Alan Q&A show. They're done.
It's Q&A with Alan.
That's right.
I don't think it has the same ring to it.
It doesn't. viewership dropped off dramatically at that point. No.
Yeah, right.
So, but I think wherever it'll be a good time. I mean, I thought the speakers were great. I've talked to people that I had there, and everybody had a great time.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and the venues, everything was great, and I really loved the participation.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody came loaded and locked to learn and do stuff, and I followed up with, I don't know, probably about 10 people by now who were at the thing, and a lot of people are actually putting what they learned into practice, which is the main thing. Our whole motto is actions reveal priorities, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you go to the event and you learn, that's great. But unless you're using the information, it was a really nice vacation. You have to be taking that information and doing something with it. And that's what makes it sticky, right? And so a lot of people are working on their mission charters. A lot of people are starting remember the workshop idea to find employees. They're working on that. And so that's kind of really interesting. So cool.
Well, I think too, and not to get off topic, you were talking about employees, still, I think the best show we had a few weeks ago when we had Ellie Benholzer and Jed from Stakes on hiring handicapped and challenged people.
Mm-hmm.
I was just into an account that, in Bay City, Michigan, they have 6 autos. They do fulfillment and stuff. And they had some handicapped and some challenged people there wanting. Yeah. And he was telling us we've had them for years.
Well, I don't know if the hotel we're just at, they had an autism guy as the door opener.
Yep.
Noticed that. And they also had one of the hotel clerks. I'm not quite sure what her disability was, but she had all types of braces and stuff on her legs. And
didn't notice.
And maybe she was like a night person. But, and I think it's really good when you look past things and look to see how people can contribute.
So I know at ATS when I was there, Bill was telling me, he goes, the guy in the wheelchair, he does all kinds of stuff. They were bagging and stuff. Then he goes, no, he's been employee of the year last year because not only does he pick that up, he's like pushing everybody else, like, come on, let's go faster. Let's get this going.
Right.
So it's been incredible.
Hey, Dan's here. Pop him in.
Dan?
Hey, Dan, by the way, did you solve I noticed you posted about you were looking for some 4-color process pigment inks. And I meant to post, I was in the middle of stuff. Who you should reach out to is Beppe Quaglia with Virus. Because he does not just inks for our industry, he does it for other things. And I bet you he has a solution for you. And if you need his contact information, just email me and I'll send it to you. Okay. Brian says Myra loves the mountains, so we vote Denver. Okay, cool. So let's switch up topics here and let's go to get out of your office, right?
Absolutely.
So, and the reason why I think this is, topical right now is we have some things that are coming up. And I also know that a lot of people are always head down in their shop working on stuff, and they never go see another shop in their area. They never go to the Chamber of Commerce event. They never go to a trade show or to Shirt Lab or whatever, because they're just working on their stuff. And I think a lot of times, if you make the time to do stuff, there's a phrase I use all the time. You must be present to win, right?
Yep.
You got to go. And sometimes, it's not financially feasible, and I totally get that. However, I think if you are open to learning, if you're open to network, if you're open to meet people, even if you're an introvert, it can pay off. And something I learned way back in college, I took a leadership thing, and one of the speakers said, your best friend is only a handshake away, right? Yep. And so you just got to meet people and do stuff. I mean, I didn't know Alan Howe my whole life, right? And so here we are doing this goofy show, right?
Yep.
And it kind of happened by accident, and now we're 170 whatever episodes in, right? And
connected. How many times at a show where you might be there and I might be, and I get asked too, they go, so where's Marshall? Well, I don't know. He didn't share a schedule with me this week.
right.
And I, yeah.
But anyway, so getting out of your office, I think, needs to be an on purpose thing. Back when I was an art director, about once a quarter, I would gather up the whole art department and we would go to the mall, and then we would have lunch, right? And we go to the mall around 10:30, right after the stores open, because there's not really, like on a Tuesday, there's not really anybody there. And what we would be doing is we would be looking at what are in the stores, what's the decoration technique, what's the size of the imprint, how many colors, do you see some cool things? And this is, it was a while ago, it was before cell phone, and so we would actually take notes and bring sketchbooks or whatever, and then we would all go to lunch and we would discuss what we saw. And that was a really great activity to get out of the office to see what's going on in real life, right? And so we always get like so mired up into what we're working on. You have to talk to people and meet people and see things. And that's going to color and influence how you do things, because you come away from that, different somehow. Right. And so give me some examples, Alan, of maybe some instances where, you've learned something along the way, just like happenstance that you didn't know. You bumped into something, or you did something, or you were in somebody's shop. You didn't really mean to be there, and but you made the time to make that.
So there's a couple ways for me on there, just because of my position of being a field tech sales guy and being out and then going to shows. One of the main contacts that I remember I made and got to know was Marshall. First of all, with social media, it's been a little bit easier. Marshall and I met each other through Twitter. He was writing stuff. I was writing stuff. We were coming up. We were doing stuff. And we commented on each other's stuff.
When Twitter was good.
No, I don't even use Twitter anymore. It's not even called Twitter now. It's called X. But yeah, I don't even use that. But I remember I posted, and you posted something about something I wrote or taught. And you said, hey, are you going to be in Long Beach? He invites me to his sustainability seminar. I go, and I'd never met him. I mean, knew what he looked like and stuff. But as I'm walking in to the convention center going to this, because there was an early morning one before the show started, there's a guy there. He's from New Jersey, and we're talking and all that. Well, it's not from New Jersey. It was John Lynch from Linka in Krakow, Poland. And everybody knew John. I didn't know John, though. But we ended up sitting right next to each other and stuff. And yeah, I see him, at the shows and stuff. So what a great thing when you hear his story, and so we get talking and he tells me a story. He goes to Krakow right after the wall falls. He was, an entrepreneur businessman. There was some business opportunity, and he has been there ever since. That was like 1990. Yep. And just killing it in the garment decoration and fulfillment over there in Poland.
Yeah.
That is a chance meeting from an invitation from Marshall, go there. So that's the first thing that popped in my mind.
Yeah. You came into my class, and the first thing I did was make fun of you.
He did. He did make fun of me. I don't remember what you said, but yeah.
I said, hey, is that Alan Howe in the back of the classroom? Oh my God.
I looked behind me going, no,
I was just teasing, I run my classes a little. I try to be funny and friendly.
A little loose and all that.
I don't know if I accomplish that, but that's my goal.
Yeah. So it was, it's stuff like that. And I think sometimes, Marshall, everybody thinks it's easier for us to, okay, you guys are well known and stuff. It's not easier. There are people I want to meet, and I'm afraid I get, going, I don't want to just go up and bug him, but then you just do get over it.
Yeah.
And
let me tell you, in this industry, all the action's in the bar, right? It's always in the bar. It's or
in line
the next morning in coffee, right? So
exactly.
So let me I can't tell you, like, a while ago, I was trying to save money and I would do Airbnbs for trade shows because you can get a little better deal. And what I missed was the happenstance meetings, right?
Yeah.
And so I was like, you know what, this is not going to work out. And then so now I'm back to staying in the hotel where everybody's staying, because you see people at breakfast, you see people at lunch, you see people at check-in, whatever. And then, you spend 10 minutes or whatever. But it's the proximity that drives that interaction. And maybe we should do something, or what are you doing? Hey, here's the invitation. Hey, would you like to go to dinner? All that happens just because you're there.
You know what? And we talk about elevator pitches and stuff of how many people I've met in an elevator in the hotel going down to the lobby and stuff.
Yeah,
you see the badge and stuff. And you start talking and meeting people.
Right.
It is incredible. And I think, it is the networking. And then we go back to what Michael Wilbright says, the people you meet that you really start collaborating with and doing stuff with and become, compadre with, all over the country. And to do that, you've got to leave your office.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be an industry thing. Are you part of a chamber group? Are you part? So Sandlot Sports, who was at New Orleans there, I was at their, they opened a new sales office in Saginaw. Grand opening was last night, did a great job. It was there. Well, Ryan has been for 5 years part of a Vistage group.
Yep.
And Vistage is a great group. I met more people from his Vistage group there, and I think that's incredible. They're both part of EOS.
Support each other. Yeah. And also, do you go to your customers' trade shows?
Absolutely.
Right. You should. So let's say you do stuff for the, I don't know, construction industry, or hospitals.
Yep.
You should be going to their trade shows to see what they're talking about. What are their problems? What are they wearing? Right. And meet and talk to people. Right. You can also be a guerrilla marketer where you've got a backpack full of samples, and as you meet people, you're handing things out, right? And you can do a trade show and work the floor and not have a booth, right? And I'm sure the trade show people hate that, but that's a common thing, right? And
absolutely. And I know, Sandlot is very good about networking. They don't do it enough. That was the best thing they said. They said they actually networked more, better down at Shirt Lab this year. They ended up going to lunch with Bobby Harris and with Josh Wiley from Oklahoma, which I think is awesome. Right. Bobby's in Houston, and it was incredible. Right. But then, they're at the open house thing was their builder who built out this bank that they bought for their new sales office and did an incredible job. Ryan was telling me about it. Well, he's there. His boss is there. They flew in because this is a nationwide builder.
Yeah.
And stuff. And what a great job. And all of a sudden I hear the one guy going, he goes, I'm talking to this guy about, he needs to have all his apparel and stuff done for you. That's just referral. That's word of mouth.
Yeah.
You can't put a price on that. So,
sure. Right. So Brian says, my kids make fun of me for looking at how things are made and printed, but how do you learn anything if you don't see new things? Exactly.
Absolutely.
And by the way, Brian, I've got one of those kids that knows everything also. So let me tell you, he doesn't. So, all right. And then Mike says, yes, get out of your office and go to your friends' offices. Yep. We're doing some co-op marketing support as a group, and our combined experiences will make this so much better. Yeah. What are other people doing? How do you do things? I think it's really important to see that. And if you can't go because of distance, you can walk around with your cell phone and do a Zoom thing. That's good also, right? So I've done that a million times where I say, hey, why don't you walk around the shop and let me see what's going on? And that's kind of a good thing to do, right? So absolutely. Also, I'm just working on execution. Ideas flow, but putting them into action is hard.
Yeah.
So Mike, here's what you need. Like if you've read Traction, you're the visionary. You need an integrator, if you hire somebody that does that, okay, who do I mean? Well, you need to hire somebody like me. I've always been an integrator. I'm the guy that gets things done, right? Hire that for your person, right? For your company. And that way you actually come up with the stuff and then you delegate it to them to take care of, right? Yep. That's how it works. So find somebody like that, right? And I think it'll be great. And Josh is here, says good morning. And then it looks like Keith's here also. Hey guys, late. Good morning. That's okay.
It's good seeing you, Keith. Yeah.
Yeah. And Mike says, yes, ads posting on Indeed this weekend. Great.
Good job.
And also says, and my VA starts soon. Wonderful.
Great.
Yeah.
And that was that's somebody that you had at Shirt Lab, was the guy who runs your for your virtual assistant.
Yeah. But Mike's got a different VA he's using.
So. That's okay. But
yeah, well, I don't care, right? So it's although I'm partial to my folks, right? But the important thing is that you solve the problem, right? And there's enough to go around, trust me, right?
Absolutely.
So, all right, so
let's talk about on getting out of your office too, because we do have some industry events coming up.
What? There are industry events coming up?
There are. Printing United's going to be in Atlanta.
In October, I'll be there.
Yep, I'll be there in October. Fort Worth show is going to be there. I don't think I'm going to be there.
September. Yep, I'll be there as well. Yep.
On there, GSG is going to have a great, huge booth on it. Then there's Long Beach on there.
Long Beach in January. I'll be there as well.
One of the things that, Marshall, you and I were talking, and I don't want to sound mad, but I'm what was the title that we were going to put? Get out of your office. What was the title going to be? I said, we can't put it that way.
You said, stop whining.
Stop whining. Stop whining. All I hear is, how come it's in Long Beach? How come it's Atlanta? It's never in, it's not going to be in Davison, Michigan. I'm sorry, Alan. They're not going to have it there. Stop whining. There's never a good time. How come it's in January? That's my busiest time. Stop whining. Make the time. Get out and go see something.
Yeah. And there's a great Teddy Roosevelt quote. I love quotes, which is whining without suggesting, complaining about something without offering a solution is called whining.
Exactly.
Right? And
I am sick and tired of people saying, Shirt Labs and it's so far, it's like this. No, it's not. Get on a plane.
Yeah.
Get on a freaking airplane.
It's 3 or 4 hours on a plane and you're there.
Yeah, exactly. When you think about it, I've been to Asia. You can be on the other side of the world in less than 24 hours. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Get on a plane, go do it, build your business, meet some people, see what's new. Yeah. Well, I don't need to. I'm just so busy. And you don't understand my business. No, actually, we do. You're whining. We understand totally.
Right.
And stop it, guys.
Yeah. And
no
Mike said he couldn't hire Lyra, so he had to find somebody else. Right? We love you, Lyra.
Yeah, Lyra is Marshall's VA, she's amazing.
So let's share the pulse right now. So it's the midway part of our show. So please go to gogsg.com.
Yep.
And what I forgot to do was actually get this set up. We were spending all the time goofing off before the show, right? Yeah, you picked up a hard copy in New Orleans.
Yes, I did. So the new Pulse magazine for the fall right there. Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, as usual, this has a whole bunch of really cool stuff. So leaf through it and then find the things that you like. It's just at gogsg.com. And you can find something that you need right there. You can see what's on sale, all that stuff. So, all right. Let's, next thing is comfort zone escape. So this was your idea here. So, Alan, what are we talking about with this?
Well, this was kind of on the no whining thing of comfort zone escape. That, we get comfortable with where we're at, and then we're just going, we think our bubble is reality all over the world, and it's not.
How many people, don't try something because they're not going to be perfect doing it out of the gate?
You know what?
And
Michael Wilbrett,
they don't want to have the struggle. They just want to have instant success.
I appreciate Michael saying, I'm great at ideas, I'm horrible at executing. Because, everybody thinks you and I do this, and Marshall is the execution guy. He's on there. And I'm the one, I have 1,000 ideas, and I execute very few of them on there. And I asked you one time, I go, does that make you insane, Marshall? And you were kind and said, no, not really. I figure you know what you're doing and all that. I know it makes you nuts. But you know what? It is. But you know what? We get comfortable. We're worried about not being perfect. It is, but we have to push through.
So you just do it, right? And we're not perfect with this show, as regular watchers will agree.
As you just blipped out for some reason,
we sometimes, like we did our show last week live from that hotel, right? I set up all the gear in my kitchen before I left because it was 2 years since I touched it, right? And I had to remember how to set it up. And of course, in New Orleans, I was shocked that the audio worked. It's like, because, until you're really there, you just don't know. But guess what? We're doing it anyway. And if it didn't work out, we would have giggled through it and went and did something else. It's okay, right? So you got to just it's not going to be perfect. The perfection is an illusion anyway, right? And so we just do it and not worry about it and make it better next time and keep trying that. Keep whacking the tree with the axe, right? You just keep doing it, and eventually you'll get it done, right? So,
absolutely. And we've had our share of problems on this. I mean, some of the worst shows, when we did live at Fort Worth, oh my gosh, we never want to go through that again.
Well, that's case in point. We didn't have the right gear, right? Yep. And then after that, I went and bought a bunch of stuff. Yep. Okay. And, so that it's just, you don't know until you're there, right?
And just trying and stuff. So absolutely. Right. So it is, comfortable, and it's, I'm reading that.
Listening to Alan help someone else solve a problem during the VIP dinner was helpful for our shop this week. I wouldn't have had the solution if I hadn't been there. What was the,
I don't remember. I don't remember. You're going to have to.
Brian, what was the, let us know what the thing was.
Was I drinking heavily?
Huh?
Was I drinking heavily, Brian? I don't remember.
No, you weren't drinking heavily.
No, I never drink heavily. But thank you. I'm glad. And I think sometimes in our comfort zone, Marshall, and we say it all the time, and you guys do, you got to work on your business, not in your business.
Yeah.
Right. And, things are not going to be in Tallahassee, Florida. They're not going to be in Charlotte, North Carolina, always. Go to Atlanta. Oh, Atlanta's not as fun as Baltimore or as Orlando. No, it's not. Go to Atlanta. This is business. Go do it. Set appointments. You want to meet somebody, call them and say, do you have time for coffee? Do you have time for lunch? Do you have time for breakfast?
Right.
I
always try to do that. I always try to meet other, let's go to breakfast. Let's go to lunch. Let's go to dinner.
I am always better one-on-one or just with one or two people than in a group and stuff like that. Too many distractions and stuff. I love when people say, hey, can we just get together and just talk about our business and all that? I've never met you. Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right. And then you gotta do what you want to do. After our event on Saturday, there's a whole bunch of people went down to Bourbon Street, but I've got some arthritis issues and I didn't really, and I was tired from doing everything. I'm like, you know what? That's just going to be a mistake if I go.
Yep.
I'm going to go to the hotel because I know there's going to be people at the hotel. And guess what? We had 8 people at the hotel hanging out, right? And it was just as good. And guess what? We could hear each other.
It was a good time.
And so it's just, you do what you want to do, right? Yep. And but I think you gotta be there, and you gotta try things. And even if you're not going to be good at it, you just do it anyway. Right.
Yeah, absolutely. And even if you don't say anything, if you're just sitting there listening, that's great. Learning stuff and all that. And yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, all right. So
and Brian, I'm sorry I don't remember what that conversation is. Hopefully I was helpful.
Right.
And I'm glad I helped out. So
right. And our last topic today, I think, is an important one, which is about staying positive, right?
Yeah.
I think you have to have a positive outlook, right? If you see things through a negative lens where you're always trying to find the problem, then everything becomes a problem, right? And if you stay positive and you're looking for the good in the situation and the good in the people and the good in what happened, even if a mistake was made, right? Well, we did 100 things right, but only one thing failed, right? And we can really get wrapped up into the one thing that failed, but we can also celebrate that we did 100 things right.
Yep, absolutely.
Right? And those processes are awesome. It's just the one thing that failed. So we have to kind of sometimes think about what's actually working well and make sure that we recognize that these are the things that are actually working. Let's keep that. What do we need to do to make sure we have that? And then the negative stuff, right? Then that's the stuff that we have an opportunity to improve or change, right? How do you stay positive, Alan? What's your secret?
Well, I wish I had. Well, here's the exact way. There are times where, I get down too. Sales is as much as I like to be the technical guy, I am still in sales, and so, I can have the podcast and speak and do all this stuff. But when it comes down to it this way, if my numbers are not there, I'm dead to them. Yeah. And, sales is all about rejection. So, yeah.
Have you learned to like put that in a container or not worry about it? Or like, how do you knew you were going to get a deal and then the last minute they back out and drop, right? It's a no, but maybe it's a no right now or whatever. Like, how do you stay positive in the face?
It's difficult. So here's the worst in my career. In 2013, I'm on vacation. I get a call from work, and a large company is like going down the tubes like fast. So I'm driving from Alabama to Ohio with my family, my mom, my grandmother, my stepdad, and all that. And I'm talking to her on the phone. So as I'm driving, I'm now making flights to leave Cleveland, Ohio to go to New Hampshire. And I go up there and I have this meeting with this company, and it's about $100,000 account on there. Have this meeting, and it was one of them meetings. I'm down. I'm on the steps of my of the customer. It's one of those meetings. Everybody said the right thing. Everybody had that. But Marshall, you've been in them going, everybody's saying the right thing, but you're going, this deal's done. We're toast.
Right.
And I knew that. So I called my boss. He goes, how'd it go? Said it went good. He goes, are we okay? I go, we're not. We're toast. I just have that feeling. One of them. As I'm talking to him, one of my other customers calls me in Cleveland, which is about $150,000 account. And I'm told that, a company came in, has undercut me by 6% on ink, and there's nothing I can do about it. So I lost almost $250,000 in a span of 10 minutes.
Right.
That was not a fun day. That was not a fun flight home on there. What am I going to do? And that's a lot of money. The distributor I was working for was only about $3 million. So that's a big chunk.
Right.
On there. That is tough to stay positive on. You have to remember, and this is where you have to remember of not having all your eggs in one basket going, okay, what else do I have in the hopper? What else do I have going on? Remembering your customers, your best customers are for rent. You do not own them.
Yeah, we can't take things for granted. Yes.
Yeah, and that's my thing. Everybody likes to talk about, well, I'm dealing with this person, I'm dealing with this person. Great. That is for rent. I don't care if you have a 20-year relationship. That relationship can go away, things can change, and you can lose that business. Right. You need to stay positive. You need to keep the pipeline going. You need to keep looking for new markets, new clients, and keep going. The positive part, we have, there's a sector of business outside of the garment area, which is a little tougher to get into. When I was with a different company, I was in this account in Detroit very well. Since I left and I'm with this company, I can't get them to return a phone call.
Yeah.
That's disheartening. Tuesday, I'm down in that area. I thought, you know what? I'm just going to stop by. And it's under the premise going, I just want to make sure, is this person he's still in charge of purchasing and inventory and procurement, who I need to deal with. I said, all right. I go, I don't know if he's at lunch right now. No problem. He took an early lunch. Leave my card, leave my catalog, something there, and just let him know. And I figure I'll email him. I'm not even home at 3:30. There's an email. Alan, I am sorry I missed you. I would love to set a time and see what we can do if there's a fit between your. Right. Who knew? What I wanted to say is, really, you've ignored my calls, but I don't know what's going on. Appointment set for Monday at 2:00.
Don't you think a lot of times our brain goes into overdrive and we tell ourselves all these horror stories about things?
100%.
And we're our own worst enemy, especially in sales.
100%.
We're our own worst enemy.
100%. Yeah. It is the hardest thing to stay positive. And you know what? You have to remember, that's where, when you have, I guess, I don't even want to say staying busy, when you have more irons in the fire that can happen, the one that you lose, because there's going to be losers, on there. You're going to lose stuff. Everybody does. But yeah, you learn from it. You keep going, try to keep the relationship, because things will change in the future. But man, focus on what you have going on. And I think that's when we get comfortable, we can only, we don't have anything else going. Okay, now I'm in panic mode.
Yeah. So Keith says, I can only control what I can control. So I try to stay kind and patient. This definitely helps with being positive, and I run away from negative people.
100%.
Yeah, I have a standing rule for myself, which is don't work with jerks. So
yeah. I'm not, some sales guys, like I can never be 100% commission guy. I am just not that person. Some people love the pressure and doing that. No, I have a salary. I'm commissioned on stuff and all that. It's just a different setup. Mm-hmm. I like it that way. I watch my numbers. I know where I'm at. I know when I'm down. I know when I'm up on the big picture. Mm-hmm. There are guys I work with where they're watching every little thing. Marshall watches every little thing. He's that detailed guy. He loves it.
Well, I don't know about that.
Well, I know, but you know what? That would collapse me.
I don't know about the I love it part, but I think what I like to do is like I'm looking for patterns and trends.
Yep.
I try to think about stuff, and I try to be proactive. So I'm looking for, are things going up, or the down, or the staying the same, or whatever. And then that tells you what your next step should be. Right. And if you're not looking at that stuff, then things become a surprise.
Right.
And all right. So, all right. We got some good comments here.
To me, part of it is almost like in sports. It's the challenge on there. What can I do? What can I get? I have some things that I've gotten a verbal commitment from a company. When they're done with their current product, they're moving to ours. Well, they still have a drum and a half left. That can be a few months. Yeah. So when that order comes, I'll be on pins and needles till that first order comes. And then I'll be on pins and needles to the second order, because that's, on there. But I'm excited that, I was happy when I got the commitment from them. So, we'll see.
Yeah. So Brian says the dinner conversation was ink with dye sub issues.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay. It was on, it wasn't as much bleeding on there, but it was a transfer after the shirts were folded and stacked on each other. And there was actually a transferring of, I believe it's an overdyed shirt or something on a cotton shirt.
Oh, so it was like it was gassing into the pile?
Yeah, absolutely. Which happens, if I remember, and we were just talking about that. I forget who that was with, Brian, but yeah. It could have been a bleeding situation, but it was all about heat. It was all about.
It's always about heat, especially
all about heat
shirts. And a lot of people, I was just talking with somebody the other day about this, about the need for only having a one hit on the underbase, because they were hitting multiple times. And then,
Yep.
of course, your dwell time on the flash is longer. And then if you did a second flash, whatever. So it's the cumulative heat. And then you get it into the dryer. And it's like, why do we have this issue? It's because you're dogpiling the heat into the shirt, which makes all the molecules in the dye go crazy, and that activates, and that's what leads to the dye sub.
Absolutely.
Worse though is when the catcher doesn't get it and it just drops into the little bin at the end of the dryer, which is like a little easy bake oven, which keeps cooking the shirts, which is why you get all these crazy patterns all over the shirts, right? And
absolutely. So, in screen printing, heat is our friend because that's what cures the plastisol ink, but heat is the enemy, especially when we're dealing with polyesters, with overdyed cottons and stuff. And that's where I love, if your ink system is not a low cure ink all the way through on it, go to low cure ink. Don't even try.
Right. Well, tons of people now are only stocking one type of ink, which is low cure, and they're just printing on everything.
Oh, absolutely. There's no need to go to 330 anymore because all of them have this range of 320 now to 275,
right.
250, whether it's Wilflex, Rutland, International Coatings, whoever. Yeah, just do that.
Right.
So,
and wrong one. And then Keith says Bourbon Street was a good time. Did you see the video of Davis and my wife? Yeah, dancing. No. I did see that. And hey, Brian, you were going to share that with me also. Would love to get that. Right. Ghosta says, stay positive, go hand in hand with pay yourself first. Exactly.
Absolutely.
And then Brian also says it was a young lady from one of the Carolinas, right? So there's two people from Dapper Inc. In Greenville, South Carolina. There was Jen and Stephanie, and Stephanie won the rock, paper, scissors tournament.
Yep, absolutely. I love the one on you can only control, but sometimes when we lose, especially a customer and stuff like that, man, we all get the feelings. I start going, where did I fail at?
Right.
And then I worry too, like on there, I'm going back, I have to fly back, to Cleveland, but then I have to go to Pittsburgh because that's where I was living, where the company was at, and I got to face my boss going, what happened? I don't know what his reaction and what he's thinking and all that now. Right. So I do get, fearful of that stuff. And, you have to just take a deep breath and go,
well, and let me tell you, the best thing you can do is be truthful.
Yeah.
And I've seen so many situations where people try to cover their butt and they make up something, or, and that is always the wrong approach. The better thing to do is just to admit whatever the thing was, and we'll deal from it, because now we have the real information.
Yeah.
And it's not filtered. Right. And also, there's the whole, the lie of omission, when you don't include all the facts.
Absolutely.
That can be also dangerous, so
yep.
I want to know everything. Right. And that way, if we have the information, then we know, or we can maybe work out what to do next. Right. So,
and sometimes things just change too. And you realize it's there. That comes with being more experienced on there. When I was younger, I'd lose an account and it would just kill me. But,
well, we got to stay positive. Right. And there's a lot of people that, also I think it's your mental outlook. It's what you're doing. It's the people you surround yourself with. It's the books you read. It's the videos you watch. It's your family, whatever, right? You need to be injecting these positive things in your life. That's going to help you, I think, overcome a lot of this stuff, because you have a well to draw from. And I think a lot of people that are just super negative is they don't have that. They've got a hole somewhere, right?
Yeah.
And everything is all doom and gloom all the time. And people like this, right?
Oh,
and
absolutely. Yeah.
They just don't have the positivity to pull out of, to counteract what's going on.
Right.
And it's just a self-destructive circle that, it's a downward spiral of doom, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And you can't have that. And I've had a lot of challenges in my life, and I'm not perfect. And
Yeah.
But I think I've got a good support network that's really helped me out. And I'm very thankful for that. So,
yeah. And we all do. Like I said, none of us are perfect on there. We all have flaws and downfalls. And yeah.
Right. All right. So we're out of time. So what's going on?
Or we out of time. Wow, that went fast.
Alan, what you got? Any big plans?
I am actually one of my best friends, Scott Cummins, lives in Port Huron. He's my fishing buddy and all that, but he has like 7 kids and all that, like ranging from like 5 years old to like one's in the
they know the cause for that now.
Well, and he's adopted a bunch of them too. It's like adopting stuff. So
that's great.
Scott owns his own IT company and everything. But they camp a lot. And so they're at a campground just about 2 miles from my house. And so they've invited me to dinner. So I'm going to go out there tonight with them. Actually, I got up. I went to the store this morning and got stuff and made a cucumber salad to take.
Great.
And
that's awesome.
Yeah, doing that. Tomorrow, what do I have? I thought I had something tomorrow.
So like a cucumber and onions and like Italian dressing?
I usually make it with cucumber, tomatoes, but I de-seed, and the interior of the tomato I don't use because the seeds are what have the lectins and stuff in them. And then red onion, and then I do red wine vinegar and olive oil.
Right, that sounds good.
Salt in it, but none of his kids like onions, so I didn't do that, and I bought flat leaf parsley and chopped that up and put that in there instead.
Great, awesome.
So we'll see how it goes, and so I'm doing that tonight. I am actually going to Florida next week. 2 weeks. So for just a quick 5-day trip.
Yeah.
So doing.
You should go see Scott Dawson's shop.
Well, I'm going to be in on the other side. I'm going to be in Sarasota. So my aunt and uncle are going to be there. I have an aunt and uncle from St. Louis are going to be there. My mom and dad are coming up.
It's like a family reunion thing?
Well, it's my mom and 2 of her sisters. One's passed away already that, they don't get together a lot. So we're all getting together. And they said, Alan, why don't you come down? So
yeah. Good.
And enjoy it.
Important. That's great.
Yeah, exactly. And, it's my mom and my aunts and stuff. But, my one aunt and uncle, they're the ones I've talked about. I'm only 7 years younger than them.
Yeah.
And I'm actually closer to them because I'm the oldest of all the cousins. And, so, and my mom was the oldest of all her siblings. So yeah, I'm right there, like right next to them. I used to hurt my mom when we were at church when I was younger. They actually thought I was my grandmother's youngest kid a lot. Actually, up until in my 20s.
There could be a day where you'll be the oldest person in your family.
If I last that long, who knows? But yeah. So that's what I have going on. I got some stuff I got to do. Today I have a meeting with a dealer. I'm doing a Zoom training call with one of their inside salespeople, a new inside salesperson, and it's what we do.
Well, good. Well, I'm doing some work. I've got some stuff to write. I've got a Shirt Lab things to do, and working on my newsletter. I've got a big thing I'm doing for the newsletter and Journey newsletter. And so hopefully I get all that done this weekend. That's my big plan. So, but all right. Well, hey, everyone, thank you for watching. We really appreciate you. If you're watching this as a recording, please like or share. Let us know. Drop a comment. Let us know that you're watching it there. I know so many people do that. So we love to know that stuff. And we'll see you next week. Thank you.
Absolutely. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Bye.